Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu will today give feedback to the community of Musina on progress made to address water supply challenges in their area. Yesterday, Mchunu and his Zimbabwean counterpart signed a deal for Harare to supply treated water to South Africa. The bilateral agreement between the two countries will allow for the supply of treated water to the Musina area. That area is dry with limited resources and largely relies on groundwater for supply. Ziniko Mhlaba is in Musina and joins us live now. Ziniko, this is a significant deal that's been signed between the two countries. Just talk to us a bit more about how it came about and what perhaps the community in the area is saying.
Good morning, Emmanuel. If we look back in terms of when these conversations between these two countries started, the conversation started back in 2015 when the two countries were engaging in trying to build relations in different sectors. And of course, the water and sanitation sector was one of the identified sectors to explore relations with between Harare and Pretoria. So yesterday was a culmination of those conversations. And of course, one of the biggest problems in South Africa has been the lack of insufficient water, especially in dry areas such as Limpopo, especially the Musina town, which is bordering South Africa and Zimbabwe. So a lot was said yesterday when these two countries were signing off that memorandum of understanding. However, everything went well. However, on the ground, people seem to have different views and are not really welcoming the idea of receiving water from Zimbabwe, saying that there might be issues going forward in terms of safety. But I do have some residents with me right now to give immediate reactions to the news which stated yesterday that they will be getting water from Zimbabwe. However, when we spoke to the Director General yesterday after the signing off of that memorandum of understanding, he said getting water from Zimbabwe was the easiest and the cheapest way and the fastest way people of Musina can have access to clean water. So also saying that it will take years and years and billions of rands to build water infrastructure here in an effort to respond to water crisis here in Musina. But let's speak to some residents now to get a sense of the extent of the water problem. But what is it that they think about the water situation likely going to come from Zimbabwe? And Tatendo, thank you very much, sir, for your time. I know you've been staying here. You were born and bred here. It's been over 50 years. Also, tabayena gore re tlo kreya metsi mo Zimbabwe e tshwara jwang tse
e ka ba kaone too much thangwe ka thusa too much gore mo problem ya metsi ke yona problem e golo mo Musina re lla ka metsi re lla ka mabone gore dilo je pedi je a re tshware batho ba lefasile ha botse re tswa re na le pele utlhoko gore je re di lelang a di tswele pele.
Last year le protestile Minister Mchunu tlile go rona wa gotla gape today o batla go reng go yena if o ka thola sebaka sa go kopana le yena
a lokise taba ya metsi ke yona ntlo e tshweng batho ba mo hae le bana ba palo ya sekolong ka baka la metsi o sina metsi a una se se ka diang selo se se holo ke metsi re gopela metsi a be gona.
Mara masipala o reng cause ke yena Vembe district e tshwantse e lefe metsi e reng masipala rona
masipala wa rena o tswalla metsi o sa buja batho ba no makala metsi a tsamaile ene batho ka bontšha bona ba tsentjiri ba tlhape ba emerekone ba tlhapile ene e re sa padele ba nyaka tšhelete morago re ikhumana ka re sa bereki hana bele ba re nyaka tšhelete ya metsi a re bereki re ikhumana ka le 1000 je ba di nyaka re ikhumana ka gore le mereko le wona o wona.
Iman, let me bring in Mama, who's on her way to the showgrounds where the minister will be holding the feedback meeting for the residents, just to update them in terms of how far the water projects are going. Thank you very much for your time. Kupa wena tjeka mme tjeka musadi mathata metsi a le affecta jwang ka ba bosadi na le bana ba ya ko sekolong
taba ya metsi ya re affecta ka gore a re kry metsi and o sa kry metsi ba blocka mabono tshwana le simple le nna ke ne dula ko steneng sa mama ka ba blockile ba re banya ka 15000 ke kgwedi yo tla rena mabone le nno a rena mabone area kwa ba rene di bedroom a ke na bedroom ba rone shop ke ra ke na shop ba re mo system ya ka suspensa re o ne le shop o na le bedroom ke ra ke na tsona a re eng ona no le o fota le o bona ba re e o sna 15000 a re ka se o fe mabone re ka se o fe So now una ntho e tletsa ke gore mitse tsa tsa nthusa ka re standing sa mama se saka mama o tlhokofetse.
Minister utlile bona nakona be le protest ya dikwala ditsela di N1 yana o ya go yena king o batla go isho go yena ga o ka kopana le yena king di expressions tsa gago
Ke gore a nthuse ka yona issue ya metsi le ya motlakase gore o tla nthusa yang gore re kgone go kry-a motlakase le metsi. A ka re thusa gore re kry-e metsi le motlakase ka re le ona no a rena re mo matshwifing o tswa 2018 till now a rena motlakase.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. So, Iman, two residents of Musina here in Mshongoville, explaining to us, how government services are intertwined or relate to each other, especially when it comes to electricity and water, saying that when they do not pay their water bills, which they believe that it's not necessary for them to pay for water bills because they do not get water, they're saying the municipality then uses that opportunity or that incident of not paying for water to cut off electricity as well. So they are on their way to meet Minister Senzo Mchunu so that they can express these frustrations to the minister. So we are building up to that meeting, actually, Iman, but we wanted to get, the views of the people on the ground before heading to that meeting with Senzo Mchunu at about 12 o'clock.
And it's so important, Ziniko, for the community to be heard and also to understand in the design of this deal whether they were included in that conversation, so that some of their concerns, not only with respect to service delivery, but also with respect to some of the concerns that they have around whether this water is going to be safe enough to drink, as you shared with us in the beginning. Has the minister given any assurances to the community about how that water is treated to really just set their minds at ease that the water is absolutely fine for them to consume?
Yeah, the minister did respond to that question after the signing of the memorandum of understanding. Journalists were obviously posing such questions in terms of the cost, how much this deal is going to cost taxpayers money, is going to cost taxpayers in terms of rents and cents, but also the quality of the water that is going to be distributed to Musina. So the minister, alongside his Zimbabwe counterpart, said that they've done enough groundwork to ensure that they're able to probe and investigate the quality of the water. So as far as they are concerned, the water that's going to be coming from Zimbabwe to South Africa is of good quality. Remember that the Zimbabwe minister also said that that plant which is treating that water in that Bay Bridge city in Zimbabwe, was earmarked to cater for overflowing crowd during the 2010 Soccer World Cup, which was held here in South Africa. So they built that water infrastructure hoping that there will be an overflow of tourists and citizens who are coming from South Africa who will be flowing to Zimbabwe just to explore other opportunities and tourism, sites in Zimbabwe. So that's why they built that extra capacity. However, that did not come into fruition. So now they are having a white elephant, and that is why it is easy for the Zimbabwean authorities to then say, hey, South Africa, this is how we can assist you, especially in terms of attending to water crisis in Musina.
All right, Ziniko, thank you very much for that. Ziniko Mhlaba is live for us from Musina in Limpopo.